You guys want to read one of the worst things I've ever seen? Hey dudes, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. How are y'all doing? Let's have a quick check-in. Everyone doing okay? Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Cool. Hi. Good to see ya. This is your first time meeting me. Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Paige Layle. You may know me from TikTok. If you're not doing so already, feel free to go check out my TikTok at Paige Layle, and while you're at it, you can follow my Instagram with the same name. I am autistic, and so over here we talk about autism and stuff. And we have a pretty good time if I do say so myself. If you are a returning subscriber here to hang out with me again, my God, are you stalking me? Oh my God, stop it. Stop. Oh my God, it's like you like me or something. Ugh. So embarrassing for you. Just kidding, y'all know I love you more than life. Do I look really short right now? Yeah, I gotta move my camera. The thing is, I am slouching and I cannot sit up straight because last night I was on my tippy toes for about 4 hours on my bed pinning up fake vines on the wall. And I had to rearrange them 3 times because I hated them every time. And I still don't even know if I like them. I don't know what possessed me to buy them. I'm not that kind of gal. Maybe I am that kind of gal. My left lower back is in so much pain, I'm walking like sideways because I'm an idiot. Anyway, besides the point, hey, what's up? Let's get something going here. Guys, I was perusing Facebook, which I never do. I came across this real stupid post. Made me angry. Can't wait to show it with you guys. Can't wait to be angry with you all here together as one. Side topic, it's Autism Acceptance Month. The whole month of April. Autism Acceptance Day is April 2nd, which already passed. So if you guys didn't wish me a happy Autism Acceptance Day, you're on my hate list. But in honor of Autism Acceptance Month, I think I'm gonna portray a bunch of people not doing that. Not portray. I don't want to portray that. My words are weird. I'm autistic, so sometimes I say things that are not correct. But I think it's so common to see people being so shit and ableist to autistic people. And people just go like, yeah, alrighty, cool. Over here, I show those things to you and I make fun of them out loud so you can see my perspective as to why people are dumb and why you should not be this person. And if you are this person, change it. Probably. It's up to you. I will make fun of you if you are this person, and I have no regrets about that. So let me read to you what this post is, and we'll have a little discussion about her. But wait, you know what time it is. Skillshare time! Thank you so much to Skillshare for being the sponsor of today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people like you and I. You all know I'm a huge fan of learning new things or old things with new tips and tricks. I love drawing, doodling, I'm an avid bullet journaler, and I also have Procreate where I draw a lot of things for my journal, posters, stickers, and now tattoos. I took the course Digital Illustration, Learn to Use Procreate by Jerome Vogel, and that's where I now learn to create things like this. Skillshare also has no ad. Whether it takes you a month, a week, or an hour to learn a new skill, there's something for everyone on Skillshare. Or perhaps you've already mastered a skill and you just want to learn some new techniques. You can do it all on Skillshare. Join live classes and experience real-time inspiration as you connect with popular teachers while working alongside other members. Or join an existing class and learn on your own way.
Sign up with my exclusive discount and you'll get 3 months free. This is the best deal that Skillshare has ever offered, so make sure you check out the link in the description.
Knowledge is power! Get some more power, babes. Freaking love Skillshare. Freaking love learning new things. Alrighty, mint shit. Let's talk about this bitch. And I'm not going to share who wrote this because I don't need them to have publicity, and I also don't need them to get shit on. I do the shitting here, okay? I shit on the things here. All I want is for you guys to see an example of something that perhaps seems like an okay thing, and for me to say, hey, it's not, and this is why. Of course, there's gonna be people here that are gonna be like, you don't speak for everyone, and I don't know why or how I have to remind people constantly that I am one singular human being and have never once claimed that ever in my life. I'm not some benevolent spirit who dictates things. And I'm only being slightly sarcastic and a little bit maybe potentially angry about this because it's so frequent that people just like need to remind me.
You don't speak for everyone.
Thank you. Moving on. This post on Facebook is from a Facebook group that is a I believe just dog rescue. Looks like they got a cat and dog in their profile picture. So it could be just animal rescue in general. So here's this person running this rescue, and this is what they post. Mama bears. If anyone's gonna start their thing with mama bears, you know it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Mama bears. Rescue is hard, and no one knows it unless you actually do it. To all the rescues out there, my hat's off to you. I've been doing rescue for just over 22 years. I have owned my own shelter for 15 of those years. One of the hardest parts of rescue is the emotional aspect of it. I'm sure that's true. Making tough decisions, learning by mistakes, and witnessing severe injury, disease, and death in animals. That is one reason why I could never own a rescue, because that would be very devastating to me. I'm going to tell you a little story. It is hard for me to tell this story because it absolutely broke my heart. Twice. As someone who has read the story and knows what the story is, it broke my heart. I'm sure it did. I could see why this would break anyone's heart. But it being phrased as if like she's that's all I can say right now. Okay, let's see what the story is. I think it was 2008 or 2009. I adopted a dog to a family with an autistic child who was 7 or 8 years old. This story is about autism. Do we see where this is going? I'm sure you can kind of see where this is going. I met the child, who was verbal, and he seemed to get on with the dog well. The dog was fabulous and snuggled right up to the boy. I liked the parents, and they had a nice home and a good application. I let the family adopt the dog. It was 5 or 6 days later, I got a call from the mom, crying, saying it wasn't working out. She went on to explain that the dog had some wounds on his head and ears and wanted to be upfront with me. Her son had been biting the dog when he would have a meltdown. I felt sick. I was, however, very thankful she was honest and returned the dog to me. When I got the dog back, I cried my eyes out when I seen his head. Huge human bite marks on his head and ears. I felt so awful. In 2012, I adopted a dog to another family with an autistic child, and this time I thought it would be okay. Time had passed, and what happened before was just one incident with one autistic child, and the chances of it happening again would be very, very low, I told myself. I was wrong. Make a long story short, this new dog, a shepherd / golden retriever, came back to me 10 days later with 9 stitches in its head. The 11-year-old autistic child smashed a fan over the dog's head and cut her and bit her. You can imagine my devastation. I was sick about it. To this day, I relive it in my mind. After the second incident with the second dog, I made a policy that no dog will be adopted into homes with autistic children. Guess what? I have 2 children of my own, and I know what it is to be a mama bear. As well, when it comes to the rescue dogs at this place, I am even more of a mama bear. Parents of autistic children are also mama bears. Of course they are. I get that. We have a lovely teacher who volunteers on weekends that specifically works with autistic children in regular schools. She told me 99% of her autistic students have outbursts and can be aggressive and violent. She is a professional in her field and highly respected. Some may criticize my policy, but I just will not take a chance with another dog. My rescue dogs are deserving of safe, loving, forever homes. That's my job. If you don't like it, too bad. Just because a parent of an autistic child thinks their child is perfect, don't all moms think their children are perfect? So that's the post. So let's go over that a little bit. Let's take a minute, digest what just happened. Before we go on to my thoughts and opinions on this, I would love if you guys, pop a little comment down below, tell me what you think about this policy. And I'd love to see if your opinion changes after you hear what I have to say. This story has layers here of things that went wrong. I'm putting down my iPad and I'm getting into discussion page mode. Now, before I get on to any of these points, I do want to say that this is heartbreaking. Absolutely. It is common in most autistic people, such as myself, to feel much more of a connection with children and animals rather than with adult humans. And I personally have very deep love and connection and empathy for both. I want to say that I empathize with this situation. This is not a good situation for anyone involved. It deeply saddens me to think that these animals were put in harm's way, especially considering how already traumatized and vulnerable these animals probably were. I am in by no means condoning what happened to those animals as being okay. It's not okay. It's never okay. And there's no excuse for that. But that is not the argument that I think this post is necessarily making, nor is it the argument that I'm countering. What happened was not okay. And I can't explain it as okay, and I never will, and I never can. What my argument here is going to be is what should have happened, who the blame should be on, and why the choices being made because of the events that happened were unjust and not good. Let's talk about the rescue process. Rescue animals are some of the most vulnerable animals out there. They have likely been through traumatic situations and events. They've got a lot of emotional and mental scars. These animals animals can be unpredictable. They will have needs that shelter animals or reputable breeder animals do not. Oftentimes, they are not puppies, which means it is very likely that they will be harder to train new behaviors. These animals are probably going to have trust issues, and having trust issues, especially with humans, can lead to a lot of unpredictable behaviors, some not necessarily the best. With all of this in mind, the rescue process has to be in depth. When you, as a rescue, assign an animal to a family, making sure that the family is fit to care for this animal is of the utmost priority. I'm gonna move my hair elastic. Looking at the application is the first of many steps that should occur. There should be in-depth interviews with the family, going to their house, seeing how they live. What are their resources? What's their lifestyle? And if all that seems to fit well with this animal, then introducing the animal to the family. How does the animal feel about the members of the family? How does the animal feel about the household? Does the animal form bonds or a relationship with members of the family? Are there things that aren't working? Are there things that are workable? And in my personal opinion, one meeting with the dog and the family is not enough. It's definitely not enough. I have lots of friends who have rescued animals, and none of them have experienced a process as lenient as it seems that this has been. There could be lots that was not explained in this Facebook post, for sure. But I also feel like to solidify the argument that this rescue is making, if there had been multiple meetings with this family, I'm sure they would have included that. To be like, look, I really didn't see it coming because we did it so much that it seemed like it had a 100% success rate out of all of these times. One meeting and then deciding, yeah, that worked is not good enough. Also, once an animal has been assigned to a family, usually from what I know, which could be very limited, but this is what I feel like should happen, the rescue will keep in constant contact with that family, not only throughout the whole duration of the animal's existence, but especially within the first bit of the family having the animal. With my friends, there has been constant check-ins and communication, pictures needing to be sent to the rescue, the owner of the rescue or employees coming to the house to make sure that things are as they should be, because it's easy to lie on an application and it's easy to make a good first impression and that be it. But if you are lying, then it should not be as easy to maintain that good reputation continuously, especially if the rescue comes and visits at a time when you are not aware of, which is what has happened with all of my friends that I know that have rescued animals. I believe it was with one of my friends, any time within the first 6 months, the rescue could come at any time just to pop in and check in and make sure that things are cool. So this comes to my first point / argument against this post. If you do not do extensive research in placing your rescue dogs with the correct, proper family that is fit to take care of that dog, that's on you. Do your job better. There are lots of things that can explain why this happened, why the rescue perhaps did not do that, but I also don't care. If your job is to make sure that these very vulnerable animals grow up and are placed in the safest, best environment for them, I would assume and hope that you are doing the most amount of outreach and research that you could possibly do to make sure that happens. And if that doesn't happen, if you read the application, you met with the family once with the dog for 10 minutes or however freaking long one time, and then a few days later there's an incident, I hope that would prove to you maybe I should meet with the family more. Maybe I should confirm that this is going to be an okay thing. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Because then this rescue did the same thing, and it doesn't seem like they changed any of their tactics. Because again, I would imagine that if they did, they would clarify that in their post to more solidify their argument. So I could be wrong, but that seems like what a human being would do in this case if it was true. Again, I'm autistic though, so I don't know. My second point, a little bit of a smaller point here. This child was verbal. As this point was made in the argument, I would assume that means it's because you believe it to be a valid point in the argument. I do not believe it to be valid because it does not correlate. Speech and violence or aggression are not correlated. Someone speaking does not mean that they are not violent or aggressive. Those are not two traits that are clumped together that either come or don't come with your autism, just so you know. My third point, this has to do with the parents of this first autistic child. First of all, to any parents with any children who are adopting any animal, rescue or not, it is your job to make sure that the children learn to respect that animal. It is your job to make sure that that animal is protected and that your child is also protected. It is your job as the adult, as the responsible person in the household of these two small beings that look up to you for guidance, to make sure that they are safe, they are educated, they are respectful of each other and of the things around them. And it is also your job to be honest with yourself and with your child. It is your job to know if an animal is going to be unsafe with your child. I highly doubt that this incident with the child and the dog, how the child was having meltdowns and biting the dog, was an isolated incident that only happened one time. First time the child had ever had a meltdown of which he needed something to bite on. I don't know the situation. Perhaps the parents didn't see this coming, but if they knew, if they thought this could happen, they are doing everyone a disservice by not disclosing that. This comes with autistic infantilization. It is too frequently that I see disabled people of any kind being ridden from all responsibilities because they are disabled. I do not believe anyone should be excused from being a shitty person. Children, you're a child, and so I'm putting the blame on your parents for raising you this way and for not doing their job. But autistic people, no matter how much they can communicate, no matter what, they know what you're saying. If they're not, a baby who is just learning what language even is, they can hear you. They can understand you. And if you don't think so, please learn more about autism. So that's one thing that I wanted to add here. Parents of autistic children, don't underestimate your child, please. To add on to that point, there is no way where your autistic child should be having a meltdown at home alone with the new vulnerable rescued animal. First of all, where were you? Where were you when your child's having a meltdown? You're just gonna leave them alone? You let your child have a meltdown alone? Second of all, where are your child's resources for what they do when they have a meltdown? Do they not have things to do when they have a meltdown? Things to bite on? Have they never been given the tools and accommodations that they need to make sure that they and everyone else is going to be okay when a meltdown occurs? Third thing, this is 5 or 6 days after adopting this dog. Mind you, I did get Macy as a puppy, but I don't think I let her out of my sight for the first 6 months. We would walk around the house and she would have her collar on her, and I had a leash attached to her collar hooked onto my belt at all times for like the first month at least, except of course when she was sleeping or whenever I would put her in her crate. And I didn't let her alone. I didn't let her do her own thing until we both had that mutual trust already in each other, that I knew I could trust her with doing so. But your vulnerable rescue dog who just got to your house a few days ago, they're out of your sight enough that your son could have a whole meltdown, hurt the dog. And this must have gone on enough because there were multiple bite marks on his head and ears. You didn't hear the dog whining. You didn't hear your son having a problem. So moving on to point number 5-ish, I guess. Point number 5, we're gonna call it. A few years later, this rescue did a similar thing, as in allowing a family with an autistic child to rescue a dog. Again, there is nothing made in this post that clarify that the owner of the rescue did anything different in the process of assigning a dog to this family. Because again, I believe if they did, they would have included that to further their argument. Did they take more time before giving the family the dog? Did they have multiple interviews with the family and the dog altogether? Did they know if the child was violent in any way? Which, point number 6, you should look into no matter if they're autistic or not, because the most violent children I've ever met have not been autistic. There are lots more people that are violent to animals than autistic people. And honestly, the most violent people I've ever seen to an animal are babies. And that is because babies don't know things and they're stronger than they look. Holy crap. Point number 7 of this kind of goes with points 3, 3.5, and 4 or whatever I did. How the heck did this family allow this? When was this child having a meltdown alone with their new dog? So much that the child hurt the dog in such an intense way. What the fuck? No family is leaving their 7 or 8-year-old alone with their brand new rescue dog. Are they? If they are, how did this family get the rescue dog? How could an autistic child be having a meltdown at home, have the ability to just chew on this dog, have the dog not react in any way, not bite the kid, and have no one stop it? Families of autistic children, do better, please. Please be parents. Please accommodate them with things that they need and can do when and if they have a meltdown, so that if you want to adopt an animal, if you think that adopting a dog, especially a rescue dog, is going to be a good thing for you and your autistic child and your whole family dynamic, you know, you are confident that your child will not hurt that dog, and you are also confident that the dog will not hurt the child. Adopting a rescue dog is a hard thing. You've got to pay so much more attention. And if you aren't honest with yourself that you can't do this because you can't even pay attention to your child, don't get a rescue dog. Probably don't get a dog.
But don't autistic kids deserve animal love too? Shouldn't we not deny them that?
If they're going to hurt the animal, yeah, deny them that. That's the same reason why I don't have a horse, because I don't have the vicinities for that big man to take care of a horse. Me adopting a horse would not be good for the horse, so I don't adopt a horse. Don't I deserve the love of a horse? No. Obviously I don't. There is no way that I can justify putting an animal in harm's way because you think that the human deserves the love of that animal. Fuck off, actually. So that's actually point number 9. Point number 10. This, I think, will be the last point before I get into the big main point of this entire article as a whole. The lovely teacher who volunteers on weekends that specifically works with autistic children in regular schools. There's so many things wrong with that one sentence. 99% of her autistic students have outbursts and can be aggressive and violent. She is a professional in her field and highly respected. This is a logical fallacy. First of all, the over generalization here. We have a small sample size, and we are going to say that that small sample size is true for the entire population. No, I will not take that as a valid argument. Also, we are going to explain to you that this person who made this large overgeneralization is a professional and is highly respected. And that means that she's right. That's another thing that I will not agree with. Because what's her name? What are her qualifications? What school is this that she volunteers at? Give me any information about this whatsoever. You don't. Why? Because you just want us to believe you? Alrighty. This whole bit, throw it in the trash. And also to add on to this bit, where, please show me where there is a group of autistic people and 99% of them are aggressive or violent. I would like to see it. I would like to see it. Do you work at an ABA office? Is that what it is? Is it an ABA place? It says regular school. Don't know what a regular school is. And to add on to that bit, I've never seen a happy autistic child that's aggressive or violent. But no one ever thinks about that, do they? People always think that autistics are some of their behaviors and nothing more. If you guys want to learn why I don't like behavior as a science or about what ABA is, please check out this video that I'm going to post right there. And here I'm going to get into point 11, which is just about this whole policy in general. And there will be a lot of side points up in this bitch that I don't care to number anymore because it's going to get a lot and it's going to be convoluted and long. So because of these two incidents, this owner of the rescue has decided that the problem here is autistic children. The problem here is autistic children, everybody. No autistic children get dogs. That's how we're solving the problem. And that's it. That's the end of it. That's the policy. Here's my first point that I'm going to make on this argument. Does this rescue really think that they've only given dogs to 2 families with autistic children? Have they only rescued to 5 families? And do they really think that they're not going to give a dog to another autistic child? I say this because no one has to disclose their diagnostic information to anyone. And also, if the placement of dogs in this rescue is so flimsy that without the family disclosing that information to the rescue is going to have no idea that their child that they're looking at is autistic. I guarantee you that this rescue has rescued dogs out to probably dozens of families that have an autistic person within them. I can guarantee you that. And if you disagree, have you ever looked at someone like me and thought, you don't look autistic? Because I've probably gotten that comment a million times, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating that. My other thing, this is obviously not morally right, at least to me, but we may have different morals. Being violent or aggressive is not an inherent trait of autism. It's not a part of the diagnosis. It is not guaranteed by any means that being autistic means that you are going to be violent or aggressive. I don't know if it's an assumption here of an overgeneralization for sure, but forgive me if I'm wrong. The problem is, don't give your rescue animals to people who will hurt them. Not don't give rescue animals to autistic children. Do you know who is most likely statistically to abuse physically an animal? Men in their 20s and 30s. Why wouldn't you say, I'm no longer giving animals to men in their 20s and 30s? That makes more sense. that would protect more animals. Why aren't you doing that? Probably because you don't know anything about autism. You were okay and comfortable in your ignorance by having this policy that for some reason you think is going to solve things. No, it's an excuse. With this policy, I wouldn't be able to adopt a dog. For those who do not know my personal life, I have a 3-year-old German Shepherd, Macy, who I got from a breeder when she was 8 weeks old, who I have raised and trained completely independently, and she now lives with me alone in my house. She is great. She is my best friend. I love her to death. I would never and could never dream of hurting her ever. I don't think I am a horrible dog mom, but I would be denied a rescue dog. Okay. Cool. I don't even know if businesses are allowed to do this. I don't think that private businesses, even though they're private, are allowed to be discriminatory. I don't think you're just allowed to be like, I say no to this group of people. I think that's a hate crime, babe. I think that's a hate crime. I don't know if this is in Ontario. It's definitely not allowed. I don't know if it's in the States and there's a state that doesn't give a shit. I wouldn't doubt it because the States are a mess. Sorry guys, I know most of y'all are from the States, but I'm now going to say things that I've done only twice that have been bad both times and pretend like because of those times that thing is the problem and I'm never going to do it again to show you what this idea and argument sounds like to me. Both times that I have gone cliff jumping, jumped off a cliff into the water, I've got water up my nose that really hurt. We should cancel cliffs. No more cliffs. No one should cliff jump. Better yet, we should cancel noses. The first time I wore my new shoes, I stepped in dog shit. The second time I wore my new shoes, I also stepped in dog shit. Obviously, I cannot wear these shoes without stepping in dog shit, so I will never wear these shoes again. I've cut myself twice accidentally while grating cheese. Why are cheese graters even allowed anymore? Everyone throw out their cheese graters. I've hit a curb twice with my car. Obviously, there shouldn't be curbs. It's the curb's fault. If there was no curb, I wouldn't hit it. When I eat a burrito, you all know what happens after you eat a burrito. Tortillas are the ones to blame. Never, ever, ever am I ever going to be eating a tortilla ever again. I looked at the sun without my sunglasses, and my eyes hurt. We need to do something about the sun hurting people's eyes. I trusted my dad with something, and he let me down. Then I trusted my mom with something, and she let me down. That's it. I'm never trusting any parent with anything ever again. I did really good on a math test. Then I did really good on a science test. I clearly do really good on all tests and will continue to do really good on all of the tests. I'm not good at soccer. I'm also not good at basketball. Anything with a ball, not good. Can't, no balls allowed. Beach volleyball, not even you. Badminton's on thin ice. Not technically a ball. Anyway, maybe some of those didn't really make sense in the argument. I'm sure people will argue with me about them anyway, so go for it. But yeah, wanted to share that with you guys because I thought that was a fun one. Cool swag. All for me for today, dudes. I know you guys are interested about my tattoo journey, so I just thought I'd give you a quick little forearm tour. Please vote actually down below. I want both of these things. Don't know where, don't know which one I'm getting first. I want a snake, and I don't think I want it like this long, or else it's gonna look like a Harry Potter Voldy snake. I think if I were to get a snake, I'd probably here and be like smaller, but then I feel like it's weird. Anyway, if I get a snake, I think this is what I know I want. Please tell me where, in relation to what? The tattoo, as I said in my last video, it says, I cannot control my thoughts, I cannot control my emotions, I simply observe and listen. Also, wild rose vine, a bee, his name is Herman, a little heart. This is the creation of Adam, but with muscles and bones. And then my little butterfly boy, which represents my childhood home that I lived in for almost 21 years. Yeah, so I want a snake, tell me where. I also want Aaron Yeager's eyes, like in a rectangle with like his Titan lines, you know? And I want that to probably go like, I want it to be, I think. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Guys, go sign up for Skillshare. Giver. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for learning. I'm your gal, Paige Layle. As always, great to see ya. Diarrhea. Love you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.